Hi, and welcome back to, can't even remember my name, Chix and Sticks, Cigars in the Silver Screen. We're on an hour early today, so I really appreciate all of you who made a point to change your schedules and jump on. We have a lot to talk about, and so I think that we should probably get started. I just wanted to thank you for getting on early and let you know that you're not going to be sorry. We plans for you. So here we go. Let's get it. Hello and welcome back. So tonight's a really special. I'm so excited. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I have a certain cigar that's just my go-to. And a lot of times when I review a cigar or this cigar and put up a picture or something, I always say I'm back home. Probably when I first started smoking, so 2.5 years ago, something like that. It was very early on that I had one of these cigars by Paul Stulac, and it was delicious. And, I just started posting it and trying other ones. And I ended up kind of following him. He commented on my cigars. And so we've been friends for quite some time, but we've never been able to chat face to face. So I'm really excited. And I also encourage you after the show to go to his website. He has a really neat little short film there that really talks about his start in the cigar industry. It's a really great little film. And I think when you watch it and after you see the interview with him, you're going to see the passion that he has for cigars. And that's what you taste when you smoke one of his cigars, and they are like coming home to me. So I'm really excited. I'm going to bring on Paul Stulac of Paul Stulac Cigars. Hi.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So let's tell everybody you're up in Nova Scotia.
That's correct. And first, before anything begins, I have to apologize to everyone for the early show tonight. That was sort of my fault. No one else's. I take full blame. Thanks for
it happens, right? I threw this show up almost every week, either something, the intro or something. So they're, they just swing with it. But yeah, so you are kind of stuck in Canada with the COVID situation, right? I mean, so tell us, you have a factory and a place in Florida, correct?
We were in Florida, just shipped out of Florida now. The factory's in Nicaragua. Yeah.
Okay.
Back Lara La Perla.
Yeah. Okay.
It's I hate using the word stuck, but yeah, that is kind of what happened.
I think you can use it. There's a lot of words to be used with COVID. So
I like home, but after a year, the word is stuck.
Yeah. I feel stuck in my own house. So yeah. Okay. So I was just telling them that your cigars have been a favorite of mine, and you know that we've talked about them. And I think my first cigar was the Phantasma. Pretty sure. And I always, when I think of your cigars, I mean, you have several. I'd like you to just mention what they are. But when I think of your cigars, and I'm going to show your kind of classic label because your label is so neat. It's just really well. I think it's one of the best ones there. And you use these colors a little that are black, red, and white. And so you have 3 cigars that have those color bands, the white, the red, and Phantasma has that black label. So I always think of them as being in a line. Is Phantasma separate from the other, the red one?
It's not really separate. It was just the first ones that came out. Phantasma being the first Vitola that was released and made and blended and all of the above. So I wouldn't say it's separate. It's just it's where it started, and then it evolved into the white and the red and El Nuevo so most recently.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to show this label, and hopefully I can get it. Look at that. The shield, the skull, the wings, the S on the shield, which I assume has to do with your last name.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things going on this band, on this label, on this band. And I asked you about it once, and you were like, well, it was like this mysterious answer about how, well, there was things in my life, and it just kind of like, you didn't want to tell me, which makes it even more mysterious. So you don't have to tell me, but it is just a beautiful label. I love it.
I think maybe it's not mysterious. It's just a boring story.
That's not true. No, a bunch of your stories are not boring, but those of us out here who smoke cigars like to hear that. So I saw an interview with you just recently, yesterday, and it was great. It was a great interview, and it was very technical, and he answered a lot of questions that were technical. Oh, I'm going to go to comments here because we got tons of them already. So, okay, so let me just finish this, and then I'll let you talk, and I'll kind of see if we've got some questions to work off of. But can't remember what I was saying. Lost my train of thought. Anyway.
We were talking about the label and the white, the classic and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, the mysterious stories. Yes. So you don't do very many interviews, because when I first fell in love with the cigar, I usually research the cigar, who makes it, all this stuff behind it, and there's not a lot of information out there on you. And I'm just so shy, and I just can't imagine anybody wanting to hear me talk. So that's really the reason. Which adds to the mysterious. I think it's working for you. So I'm especially appreciative that you came on and did this interview, because I know you don't do them a lot. But I saw that interview last night, and everything was really technical and all that, and any technical questions people have, certainly I'll throw them out to you so you can answer them. But like on here, I'm very passionate about cigar smoking, and everybody knows that. That's why I pair films with cigars. I'm very, to me, it's an art. Smoking is, the flavor profiles are kind of a mood, and they're kind of a journey through the cigar. And so I kind of want to hear more from you about that, the passion, because that's the thing that I saw your story on your website, and I smoked your cigars, and I was just like, this guy's just loves cigars. Like, the passion to me comes through in the flavors.
In this industry, if you're not passionate, you won't survive 5 minutes. If you're the guy or the girl who just comes out with a stick of tobacco and sticks your design on the label and hopes it's just going to work, I can just tell you right now, you're better off starting a different business, because it won't happen.
Yeah.
You have to believe it and you have to be passionate about it. It just won't work.
Well, and no cigar people being named, but there are some that just spit out a cigar like regular. And
yeah, of course it happens. It happens in every industry, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, how much really time and tasting and all that went into that blend? I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, so my son is on here. He said, that is an amazing background. Looks like a Clue game. He said, what's a typical week like for you in the cigar business? Well, it's probably different right now with COVID, but
yeah, it's very different. I mean, it's very hard to pin that one down during this year because I kind of forget what normal is, to be honest. I mean, getting on a plane and going to an event or going to to a cigar factory or what have you, it just hasn't existed. So a typical day is there isn't even a typical day. I think it just all kind of blends into one year for me at this point, probably like a lot of people.
Yeah. I know when I message you, it's really late there and you're like, I can't believe you're up. I can't believe you're still awake, but
because I'm a late night guy, but I don't wake up early. So
yeah,
when you message at around midnight and it's 4 a.m., I'm kind of just going to sleep. So when I wake up and I see that you've messaged me at night and in the morning, I start to feel very lazy.
Like this morning, I never really went to bed. No, I mean I did, but so this show is on the Cigar Enthusiast Network. I don't know if you know Ray, Cigar Enthusiast. I think he thought he knows you. Anyway, one of the guys who's on the broadcast with me said, we discussed your cigar because I was a guest before I became a host on this show. And I was a guest on their show and I smoked. I can't remember what I smoked, but I had Red Screaming Sun with me too. And he was like, cigars are so good. And it's like best kept secret. It's like,
oh my God,
people have not heard of them, but they are absolutely like, he said, Screaming Sun, most underrated stick out there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. So your kindness kind of shows in that you're just not out there doing all these trade shows and interviews and all this stuff, which is great because I'll always be able to get your cigars. But it's so true. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I'm just telling people, like, this is a stick that rises to the top. So there's lots of great cigars. It's rare that I have a cigar that I don't like. I smoke a lot of cigars where I'm like, that's good, and it's good for this purpose, the afternoon or breakfast or whatever. But then there are those cigars that you smoke that rise to the top. And I just think your cigars are so good. And so let's talk about your blender.
Okay, what do you want to know? I work with Guillermo. I work with Guillermo Pena, and between him and I, we're kind of like in unison together. We just kind of mesh together. Like I think in any industry or in any friendship or anything, if you don't click with the person, you're probably not going to accomplish anything overly great. If you click with the person, then kind of sky's the limit. So him and I have been working together. I had manufacturing troubles in the beginning, like most people in this industry. And I became friends with a guy named Guillermo Pena just by walking into his little factory in Miami on the, how do I call it? The advice of the guy who made my labels. He knew I was having trouble with my cigars, and he said, why don't you go talk to this guy in Miami that I drive by every day from work, and once in a while I grab some sticks from him. So I said, no thanks. I mean, I just know there's a million of these places, and I just don't feel like throwing darts at a board kind of thing. But he implored me to do it, and I'm always grateful to the guy for that, because I jumped in his car and we drove to this little hole-in-the-wall factory, and I met Guillermo. And he was a great guy. We clicked right away as far as camaraderie together. But obviously, the most important part of that puzzle is having a good cigar. So I said, well, could I try one of your cigars? Yeah, of course. So he hands me a cigar, and the minute I lit it up, I kind of saw the future. I don't know if that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it's the truth.
See, that's the
passion. It was very quick when I went, okay, I see it. I see what this guy is doing, and he's just not known. That's all. He's just a guy in Miami selling cigars. And he looked at me and said, "Let's. I'd be honored to make your cigars for you and with you." So he said, "Let's meet tomorrow or whatever and start blending some cigars. But when do you think you're going to need cigars for?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to the trade show in about." I think at that time it was like 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks before.
Right.
I was already committed to it. And
right.
the trade show, I was considering backing out. But so I gave him this order, and he just kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, "Bro, I sell like a few cigars here and there every day, and as much as you would in a factory, in a retail environment." So he said, "Yeah, no problem. We'll figure it out." And he did. We took orders at the show. We had great samples. Probably they needed a bit of age, but they were very good enough that it was a tremendous trade show for me. And that was in 2012 in Orlando. And we took so many orders that literally we were in the factory and I was gluing vistas on boxes and things like that, putting the cigars, like every cigar was going into the box by my own hands while they were being rolled.
Right.
I mean, from the aging room, of course, but almost literally into the boxes from my hands. So yeah, it's just one of those things that worked out.
Right.
Can't imagine it any other way.
Yeah. So somebody on here asked, his name is Jerry. He said, what Stulac cigar, it just moved. What Stulac cigar would you recommend to someone new to the brand? You can't go wrong.
Tough question, but I think I'll have to resort to the classic blend because it's where it started. So everything that came afterwards kind of built off of that. So the first one I tried was Phantasma. So Jerry, that's what you should do as well. Have a Phantasma.
Yeah, I think so too. That's the first one I had, and that's the one that just sucked me in. He has one, the one I showed the label of White Blinding Light. Excellent. Probably one of my favorites. But I love the Phantasma. And then there's Red Screaming Sun, which a lot of people like. And that comes in a Lancero, doesn't it?
It comes in a Lancero, Toro, Torpedo, and Robusto, yeah.
Yeah. I've had the Robusto because I don't like Lanceros, but a lot of people do. And so it's good to know that it comes in that. So, but tonight I'm going to try a new one of yours. El Nuevo Comienza. Is that right?
Comienzo, yeah, which translates to the new beginning.
The new beginning. See, and I love that. And I'm going to show this label because it's really cool. It's Jacob fighting with an angel?
Jacob fighting with the angel all night, and basically, in a nutshell, kind of realizes at the end of it all that he was fighting himself through it all.
Nice.
Not really. It's a battle within.
Okay,
Hence,
well.
New beginning.
So I have not had this cigar. This is just absolutely going to be my first time. I usually like to smoke them before I'm on the show, but I'm just going for it. And what I really love about it is it's a box press. That's my favorite. So, people who like box presses, I would go for this. And anyway, I'm excited.
Well, that's why it was done in a box press, just for you.
I know. Thank you. So, lots of chocolate. Cold draw chocolate.
I'm the worst with descriptives, so don't look at me to do the descriptive because when people message me these reviews and thoughts on the cigar, I am just so amazed at how descriptive people can be. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm not good at it.
I have lots of descriptive words, but they're oftentimes very odd. They're not like the traditional hay, grass. I come up with all kinds of things like more after, sleigh ride. I don't know. It's more about feelings to me, really. But I had COVID and I lost my taste and I could not taste or smell a cigar for about 4 weeks. And I'd say it's not 100% back yet, but enough that I'll be able to taste it. But it definitely had a nice little chocolate, not a cocoa, but like a milk chocolate, creamy.
Let's go with it. The cigar is so flavorful that it's the first thing that you can taste since you had COVID.
The best thing I've tasted since I had COVID. That's good. Okay, I'm going to enjoy this. And I didn't know what the flavors were going to be like, but I picked to drink with it. I picked a red wine, and I'm not a wine drinker. I really don't like wine, but I think at least 3 out of the shows I've done, I'm drinking wine. I don't know. One was a champagne. Anyway, I picked this really great wine that's going to go so good with this. It's by 19 Crimes. And look who's on the front. Cali Red. They were going to name it Snoop Dogg, but they crossed it out and named it Cali Red. But live in Long Beach, Snoop's ground. So I thought that would be fun to try with it. But with the chocolate, it's real dry red wine is going to be delicious. So,
well, enjoy. Next, I'm a Bordeaux fanatic. So next time you do Bordeaux.
Oh, that would be good too. Wine and chocolate, any red wine and chocolate is super good. Oh yeah. Somebody said Snoop. Since I moved to Long Beach, it's on my bucket list. I just want to bump into the guy before I die. He's around all the time. He'll just go to a movie theater or show up in the hood, and so you never know. It might happen. But
say hi for me.
Yeah, I will. He probably smokes cigars.
Probably not the profile he's looking for, but
true.
You never know.
Yeah. Are you going to come out with a CBD cigar or a CBD?
It's not in the works. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
Breaking out of tradition is with a label with skulls is about as far as I go.
Yeah.
Deviating from tradition and original kind of methods and thoughts. And deep down, I'm a traditional type of person. Yeah.
So, Filthy Mitts, that's a great name. He said, "How do you choose the inspiration for your labels?"
No set method. It's just one of those things, organized chaos. I just kind of, in some cases it's the cigar. In some cases it's, you think of it before and you try to match it. And I think you probably recall me talking about that last night was, I don't use one single way that this is the way it's going to be. White Blinding Light came from a song by Roger McGuinn, and he used the word white blinding light in that song, and I just kind of thought it was cool. Red Screaming Sun came from being at an event in Hartford, Connecticut at a shop, and I was at a tobacco plantation that he was doing a cigar barbecue at, and I saw the sun above the field, and I just thought, wow, it's like a red screaming sun. And that obviously had to be a Connecticut broadleaf cigar, which it is. That's what I'm smoking right now.
Okay.
Because the inspiration came from when I was, yeah, standing in a tobacco field. So
yeah,
in Connecticut. So yeah, no one set up, but the El Nuevo Comienzo, that one was very, very special because that was a sort of it represents a broken spirit. If you read the story about that cigar. And at that time, things were just like really, really tough with FDA was a big a sea of other, cigars on the shelves, and you're trying to fight for shelf space and things like that. So that one was just basically what was inside of me, and that's why it has so much meaning to me. And that's why it's called The New Beginning. And as far as the artwork, well, the artwork speaks for itself because it goes with the story on El Nuevo Comienzo. You realize.
Well, that's
just
why I
fighting
always
yourself.
kind of wondered too, like I think it's really weird that songwriters the music and then the words, because if it was me, I would write the words and then make the music fit. But I always wondered with bands and names of cigars, and I suppose everybody's different, but like with you, do you wait to name it until you're done and you have this flavor profile and you smoke it and then like that's what I would do. I'd be like, this feels like, you know.
Like I said, that does happen, but in the case of Red Screaming Sun, it was the name that kind of inspired doing a Connecticut broadleaf cigar.
Yeah.
In the case of El Nuevo Comienzo, well, it was the headspace that you're in at the time, and so you just want a special cigar that goes with that thing that you're conceptualizing in your mind. And well, White Blinding Light was the other way around. It was a cigar that was rolled when I first met Guillermo, as I mentioned, and it needed a name. And in this song "King of the Hill" by Roger McGuinn comes this word "White Blinding Light," and it just kind of fit with Red Screaming Sun,
Yeah.
White Blinding Light, and
Yeah. I too are cool too, and they're such cool names, and yeah. So somebody asked who designs the labels and where is he?
I come up with the design. I am not a graphics
Okay.
guy or a computer guy, so I come up with very
Concept.
close to what I want in concept, and then get somebody to do it on the screen kind of thing. And a guy named Fabio did the original classic label for me, and
Okay.
I've told the story a million times, but because he
Yeah.
had this great. He put all this stuff together, and I was adding stuff and moving stuff and taking stuff away and having middle of the night inspirations about it. And he just told me to get out, like, you're done.
Quit bugging me.
There's nothing left to fool around with here. So I'm always grateful to him.
Well, so that reminds me, the S shield is, I know that you said it's a symbol that you've used since you were young. And so I kind of I want you to tell everybody, like, your kind of love affair with cigars kind of goes way back, doesn't it?
Well, much further back than it probably should, being a guy who grew up where I grew up and in a family that didn't smoke, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
So it just came from all the TV shows and movies in those days, growing up, and when cigars were on TV and in movies, like the old Clint Eastwood movies, of course, I was watching those, and just had this fascination from the time I was a child. And then I smoked my first cigar, and it was just a love affair right away.
How old were you when you smoked your first cigar?
Pretty young. I always like to say that I think it happened at recess time in elementary school, but that's kind of just a.
Did you go to Catholic school?
It was no, but it was a long time ago, and I'm not going to try to sit there and say that I was smoking a box of cigars while I was going to school, but I was fascinated by them, so I tried them, and as I got into my teens, kind of thing, smoking a cheap little cigar from the drugstore kind of thing, the corner store. And then I was in my very early 20s when I smoked a Monte Cristo in a tube, and with my friends, and it became instant, like, this is what I like, this is what I want, and this is what I want to do. So I just looked at my friends and I said, I'm going to get in the cigar business. And they just laughed it off, no different than, if I had said I was going to be an actor or
be in a
rock
band
star or whatever. Yeah, it's just, okay, whatever, man. And I did. I opened up a kiosk in a mall, of all things.
Wow.
And stood there. Yeah, it was like a china cabinet almost in the middle of a mall. And I had no idea, am I gonna sell a cigar, or am I just gonna stand in here looking really stupid in the middle of the mall? Yeah. But it turned out okay, I guess, and here we are today.
I think that's part of what I say about the passion. It's like, some people get into the cigar trade later, but there are people who grew up, in Nicaragua or something in the fields. And it's like in their blood. It's part of their, it's something they were just destined to do. And I just think it's neat that you were nowhere near there. It's like you said, you grew up in Halifax.
Halifax, yeah.
Yeah. And just became enamored with it and ended up doing it. You know what I mean? Like ended up following that interest all the way through to here you are today with, I think, one of the cream of the crop cigars on the market. So, and there's all these people are saying, love the labels. I just went to his website. God, the labels are beautiful. Here's somebody that says they can't wait to go back to Halifax.
Oh, wow.
Is it cold? Is it cold right now?
No, it's beautiful, actually.
Oh, good.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice. But in regards to what you were saying, when I first launched the cigar, I actually did a lot of ads in magazines, like, some of the bigger magazines even. And I had this ad concept that everybody warned me not to do because it said no tales of tobacco fields, no 100-year traditions, no pretenses. And there was a lot of people who thought that I was kind of snubbing that.
Oh, okay.
But it was actually the opposite. I was kind of just walking in there trying to be as humble as possible, that I'm not trying to say I'm one of those people who grew up on a tobacco plantation. Right. And, it's in my blood. Well, no, it's not the way it was. So it was actually just an honest ad campaign. And
yeah.
Over time, people got me.
I think that's the beauty of, I smoke Cubans. I smoke some of the really traditional cigars, but I'm a boutique cigar smoker. I think that's the fun part, is where people kind of, it's like anything becomes new and changes, and as generations come along, they're trying different things. And I think right now it's just a great time in the boutique cigar business, and it's fun to see what people are doing. And there's just,
I can't imagine that there's a more exciting time because of the knowledge out there. It just always amazes me when I talk to people who love cigars now. They know so much because, well, there's a wealth of information on the net, of course. So that always blows my mind how, like I knew so little. And I talk to guys now, and they're 20 years old, and they're like blowing my mind with their descriptions of the flavors, and I prefer this wrapper to that wrapper. And I'm like, well, you're way ahead of where I was at 19 years old.
So speaking of wrappers, I'm going to take a wild stab at this. I do not know what the wrapper on this is, but is it a San Andreas by any chance?
You're absolutely correct. See, there's what I mean.
I love San Andreas wrapper, and it has that that pepper, that kind of bite, and I thought, I think that's what it is. Yeah,
great. Yeah, I can't believe you just nailed that like that. See, that's what I'm referring to. The consumer is so educated now and so passionate that you can't fool anybody. Like, when I first started smoking, there was just a lot of nonsense that you were reading, and you had to go by the ads that you saw. And, well, let's be honest. I mean, a lot of people were I don't want to say lying, because they weren't lying, but they were just, you were falling for what they were trying to convey in the image that they wanted, as opposed to the actual facts of the cigar. Yeah.
Well, when I started smoking, I've always been a nose. So I love perfume, and whenever I'm smelling a perfume, like for the first time or something, they'll give me a tester and I'll smell it and I'll be like, ooh, there's rose and like white flower, and there's some grapefruit. And they're always like, oh my God, how do you know that? And I'm just like, I don't know, I can smell it. But when I started smoking cigars, I could smell stuff, but I just really didn't have the taste. And it just made me angry. I was like, all these people are tasting all this stuff, and I just want to be a part of that. And so I kind of trained myself in that. When I first started smoking, I would look up the flavor profile of the cigar. So if it said, in the first third, you're going to get this or that, I would smoke it and I would concentrate on it. So if they said, it smells like, or it tastes like hay in the beginning, I would smoke it and be like, okay. that's what hay is supposed to taste like. And then as it moves into leather, that's what leather is supposed to. I just would always do that, try to identify it first. And then after about 6 months, then I would not look up the cigar, I'd smoke the cigar, and then I'd write down what I thought I tasted. And it really helped me. Like, I know there's people out there who are like, I wish I could do it, but I can't taste it. I mean, that's an idea. It worked for me to kind of identify on that wheel of flavors that you can get what those are. And then, you know, because it's not exactly hay, it's whatever they think tastes like hay or whatever. But that worked for me. It was a way to just kind of train my palate, I think. And I'm a cook, so, you know, I think like the spices, the peppers, the cinnamon, you know, I can do all that. I can't tell between people who are like, it's white pepper or black pepper. I couldn't tell you that.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I admire the people who can do it, but yeah.
But I can tell the difference between pepper and cinnamon, or pepper and a baking spice, you know. But yeah, it just came from kind of reading about it first and looking at it, and then so anyway, somebody asked me what am I tasting in this cigar, and I'm getting a leather. It definitely has a leather and a earthiness to it, but it definitely has pepper. That wrapper has that San Andreas kind of little spice, and there's definitely a chocolate it's kind of at the move to the back, but it's smooth. I don't know. This one might take the place of White Blinding Light. I don't know.
Oh my. Cheating already. See?
I know, right? I always have your cigar around, and I just always go to them, especially if I smoke one that I don't care for. Then I'm like, give me a Stulac so I can get that out of my mouth. So
there's a time and a place and a time of the day that everything fits. You can't always just smoke that one cigar. And I always tell people that. Like I get asked, do you like other people's cigars? And I'm like, oh my God, like you wouldn't exist if you didn't smoke other people's cigars, because how would you ever differentiate the differences if you didn't? Yeah. So it just depends on the day. Like one day you might be White Blinding Light, and in the afternoon or the evening it might be something completely different. Yeah.
And that's too, I sit out here on this patio, and the beach is just a mile away, and it's, so just this nice wind. It's really windy tonight. But if I got lots of troubles, I want a really strong cigar, something to just really chew on kind of while I'm sitting out here. But in the afternoon, something lighter. So it is nice to have just kind of that range. And I can imagine that any cigar maker is going to smoke other cigars too. I mean, you want to know what other people are doing too, right?
Could you be a chef and just eat your own food every day? No, probably not. I don't think. I'm not a chef, but I don't think.
That's right. Yeah. I know. That's what I always say. I go to somebody's house and they make it, and I'm like, God, I'm so tired of eating. Yours tastes totally different. Yep. So, yeah.
It's like you go to somebody's house, their coffee always tastes better than the coffee you make. I don't know why that is. It's like, it's the best coffee ever.
Yes. Yeah, it's so true.
They show you the can, and it's like the cheapest possible coffee that is on the market, and you're like, okay, well, you make it the best.
Yeah. So Kyle said, let's make that a hashtag trend. What's the hashtag trend?
I'm sure you broke up for a second.
One of the guys on here said, let's make that a hashtag trend. So above it, there's a hashtag that says Stulaced. I like that. So it's your
what I really want to do with a hashtag, or I don't know, like I'm so bad with social media that it's embarrassing actually, but I'd really like to start something with the New Beginning cigar, because I've basically put my story out there on why the New Beginning. So I'd like to see people like message me with their new beginning, like hashtag my new beginning,
Okay.
and tell their story, because I think if anything that happened this year, it's everybody's needed a new beginning. I don't think there's anybody out there who hasn't started fresh in some manner of speaking this past year.
Okay, so did everybody hear that? We're going to start a hashtag new beginnings. What are your new beginnings? I have one. I just recently, this arm is like, doesn't work right now. So I'm going to have a new arm. I'm going to have to go start working out. And believe me, I smoked a lot of cigars through the pain. But apparently there's 2 big tendons in your shoulder. And I had a tear. Another tendons. Yeah. I had a tear in one. And on Saturday night, I did something and I just ripped it. I just ripped right through it. And they're kind of like rubber bands, and so there's a little bit of the ligament, then it stops, and then the rest just disappeared in my arm. So I went to this, and it was the most pain I have ever. I can't even describe the pain.
Well, see, and there would be a hashtag my new beginning. How cigars got you through that.
Exactly, and so. I mean, I just kept smoking. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't lay down. I couldn't, I guess pitchers, boxers, basketball players, they all do it, and they collapse on the floor and they take them off in a stretcher. Well, I didn't know what I did. And all I could think of was to drink and smoke. And so I was smoking like the strongest cigars I had. And so that's my new beginning. I'm going to have a new arm. I'm going to have to start working it out, but I have to wait 4 to 6 weeks or something. So that's going to be my hashtag when I go to therapy and have to start painfully moving my arm.
Well, good luck with it.
Yeah.
Good
so
luck.
Now we'll have to see what everybody's new beginnings are. I think that's really cool. So you'll have, yeah, hashtag, new beginnings and Paul Stulac, so he sees them, and I think it'd be really neat. It's a great way to kind of just get the cigar out there and get everybody to. This is really delicious. The cigar is. I just might end up liking it more than White Blinding Light. It's so windy here, though. It keeps blowing the ash off. God, it's ridiculous. It's so smooth. Even with the San Andreas wrapper, it's just so smooth.
It's a great cigar. I think it's going to just be incredible once they begin aging even longer than they have. I think it's going
you
to
have
be
2 of these. One is
What's
the
that,
exclusive. One is the exclusiva. The other one is limitada.
It's a contest that we did at Privada Cigar Club with Brian,
Okay.
And it was a project that I've been thinking about and wanting to do for many years. And with Brian, it just seemed like the right time. And I pitched it to him, and he kind of had all these ideas because he's such a creative guy. And he said, "Why don't you launch the cigar, on the Privada platform?"
Okay.
So it came down to a number of different blends. And I had it down to X amount, and then I sent them to him. What's your favorite? And we both had 2 different favorites with everyone that we spoke to, my friends and his friends, and what have you. So it was one of those things like, I think I'm right, Brian. And he said, no, I really think number 25. I said, no, I think it's number 26. Coincidentally, it was 25 and 26. And
Okay.
We came up with this idea to do a contest, and and the contest was going to determine the winner, and that would be the final blend of the cigar. Thought it was the greatest idea, and what happened was that the contest, number 26 won, which was my choice, but by so little that you couldn't even say that it was a overwhelming win in any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
So we just came up with this idea to release one of them as the Privada Limitada, and it's only available through Privada Cigar Club, and
Okay.
the other one
That's
is part of LCA, as most people hopefully know. And that'll be the extension of the line with the White Blinding Light, Red Screaming Sun, and the classic. It'll be the Al Nuevo Comienzo Exclusiva.
Okay.
So, and that'll be available in other vitolas at some point. I hope in this year, actually, probably in the fall.
Okay. So I know that sometimes it's a little bit hard to find where to get your cigars. The first time I ordered them was through Sir Lewis Cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hunter, great guy. Love Hunter.
Yeah. Hunter, yes. He's quite a character, right? I told him to jump on here tonight. He might still. I think he's working on maybe putting together a sample pack of Paul Stulac cigars at like a Chix and Sticks special. So we'll see if he ever jumps on, but if not, I can always put it on my Instagram too. But yeah, so I mean that's one place I know that you can go to order them. He almost always has them, right?
He's been great to me. Hunter is just one of the good guys, in the industry. There's a number of them, but Hunter's right up there. Yeah, I just love him. And he's such a creative guy. So
he deals
I have no
almost
doubt that he'll come up with a package.
Yeah. He deals almost exclusively in boutique cigars too. So he gets some fun ones in there, but he just has some mainstays that are always in there, and always the Paul Stulac because coming home. So yeah.
Well, I always joke about how guys like Hunter and Brian, because they're so passionate and they're so they provide so much to their followers that it always amazes me, and they give such great value with not just what they offer in terms of the knowledge and the entertainment value, but sometimes the prices that they do. I feel like I should be buying my cigars from Hunter and Brian.
Right?
No, really, they just look after their people so well.
He does really good specials. Like he does really good deals. So he's someone to follow. So that's Sir Lewis Cigars. Yeah, and he's always putting up combinations and packs, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, he's a character. I might have him on one time just to talk boutique cigars, because he just deals with all these people and their boutique cigars, and that's just kind of a story in itself. And so yeah. So of course I know I'm talking about him, hoping
unlike him.
Well, I had to get a hold of him and say it's an hour early, and so hopefully got all that.
Totally my fault. Something got double booked by a little typo in a calendar, and I just can't apologize enough.
It was very nice because I said, look, just do the other show. I'm just a little person. It's only my 6th show, and I'm a nobody, and go do their show. And you were like, absolutely not. So
there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Anybody who gives it an honest shot, you gotta be there for them. And they were kind enough to work around it if needed to be. But I did feel bad because the commitment was there first, but I obviously wanted to make sure I came through for you. So I think you should give away some cigars that are on.
Okay. Me. What should we do?
Let's you're the creative force behind the two of us. So I don't know, figure out a way to find a couple of people that are watching live to win a box of cigars.
Okay. I've got 19 people right now, and I've got almost all of them are commenting.
Okay, so write a number down or something like that, and then get them to guess the number. And
okay,
is that a good way to do it?
Yes. So all of you who are watching,
well, you got to write the number down first.
Oh, how many?
Pick a number between 1 and 19, and if you write it down first, we can't get accused of cheating.
Okay. How about Oh, okay. These are the, okay, good. How about 7?
Well, they can't know the number.
You can't tell us the number. You have to write it down.
What?
Write down a number quietly.
I'm not sure what I'm doing. Write down. Okay, I'm
Don't tell us.
gonna change the number.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 19.
I think there'd be a lot of people guessing number 7 if we did it your way.
It's true. They all want your cigars. Okay, I got a number written down. Okay, Keith, it's not 7. I had to change it. So guess again. Everybody start guessing numbers. I'll even cheat a little and say it's double digit. So everybody start guessing numbers. Now my comments have just stopped. You guys, do you want cigars?
It's a box of cigars. Like I'm gonna shout out a number here in a second.
It's a box of cigars. Everybody start giving me numbers. And Keith, it's not 7. Give me another guess. Oh, new comments. Maybe it's just not scrolling. Let me see. Let me refresh it. Oh, there are tons. Okay. Okay. We got some of them guessing the right number. Okay. Keep coming. Oh, this is fun.
So now tell us how many of us have guessed the right number.
Um,
And then you only get to guess once.
quite a few here. So far, it looks like about 6 people have the right.
6 people. Okay, so let's bring that down to two people that get a box of cigars. First person to hashtag on my new beginning. Let's do
Yes.
that.
Hurry up. Hashtag a new beginning.
Hashtag it to Chix and Sticks, and first one that appears and the second one that appears gets a box of cigars. Is that, I don't know, does that work?
Yeah. Oh, somebody said the first one who put the number first.
Okay, that's what we did say, to be honest. Yes,
Yeah.
that is what we said. Yeah, fair enough. I'm obviously not the next Ed McMahon.
Six. There's 6 people. So I'm waiting for the hashtags to pop up. Oh, got one. So he said we all get cigars.
I wish.
New ouch. Okay, so I've got two hashtags, new beginnings. Ryan.
Did you get mine?
You might have been. Oh, wait, I got to go back. There's a ton. I have to make sure they're in order because this is kind of jumping around.
How many people do you have on right now?
24.
Okay, so a box for the first 2, and the other 22. If they DM me tonight with their new beginning, post it. I'll send them a couple sticks each.
Okay, sounds great. So did everybody get that? The first 2 people, which I'll go back and tell you who you are, you're going to get a box of cigars from Paul. And the rest of you, if you DM him tonight with the hashtag thing, he will send him cigars. So everybody's going to get something. So that's cool.
I'll send 2 or 3 sticks to everybody.
Okay.
And it's up to 24.
Yeah, I think that's great.
The first
So,
24 people.
Yeah. So what I'd like everybody to do is you can Yeah, just make sure that you DM Paul with the hashtag new beginning and get your information to him, and he will get you some cigars.
Post the hashtag and DM me the address.
Yes.
And I have to be honest that because we pumped this pushed this an hour before, I've got to jump over elsewhere for.
I'm coming up on an hour anyway. Yeah. Okay, so everybody knows what they're going to do, and I will let the first two people with the hashtag, I will figure out who that is, and I will let them know, so then let you know that that's who they are. That they're the box people. 2 box people.
Okay, I've got a James already messaging me, so someone's really on the ball here.
Okay. So let me go back to the top, and I'll just say who the 2 people are that had the first hashtag. It is going to be.
Well, the first 2 people are the people who guessed the number, because that's what we committed to. So I think that we should stick to that.
First 2 people who guessed the number. So let me go back up here.
What's the number?
It was 18. Oh man, there is a lot of numbers here. Okay, well, I'm getting there. If you have to go, you can go, and I'll get this to you.
Well, you work it out, and why don't you shout to me in an hour or whatever? I'm going to do this other interview with these guys, Super Stogies, and let's go with that.
Okay, sounds great.
Again, my apologies to everyone.
So where are you going to interview now? So, because some of these people might want to just jump over and keep listening to you.
Super Stogies, El Leon Cigars, and that's starting in literally 2 minutes. I was supposed to be on there 15 minutes ago or 13 minutes ago, so I better get going.
Okay.
But thank you so much, Paula, for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll be talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks all,
Paul.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so he's off. So I'm going to go back and, all right, I'm going to find this first number. So not there, not there, not there. I'm looking because I want whoever you are to know that you're a box person, that you get a box. And you can let him know that you're a box winner. There were so many of them. Where the hell are they? Gold Coast gentlemen. You get a box. You guessed 18. That was the number. So you can message Paul and tell him that you are a box winner. So then the next one who said 18 was Amy McCargar, who is a new smoker. So that's pretty cool. So there you go. You 2 guys, you 2 people will message him and let him know that you're a box. Everybody else, make sure you message him and he'll send you several cigars, it sounds like. So you'll get to try kind of several. And then if Sir Louis Cigars comes up with a deal, like he's going to put together a pack of like at a % off or something, I'll put that on my Instagram. So find that too. So, okay. So I guess I'm going to take a big swig. So that was the whole hour. That went fast. Do I have a shot? Oh, I do have a shot. Everybody, let's do a shot. Oh my God, Paul doesn't do shots. So now that Paul's gone, let's do a shot. So I got my shot ready. Everybody get a shot, get a shot, get a shot, or whatever you're drinking, do a shot's worth. Also, I just want to say that the ash on this cigar is really messed up. And it literally has to do with how windy it is here. The wind keeps blowing my ash off. Look at the ash and think, oh, that's burning really horrible. I've never had a construction problem with a Paul Stulac cigar ever. So yeah. Okay. Everybody's got a shot. Let's do it. Here it goes. What was that? Di Serono. That was yummy. I had a shot before the show. It was a peach oil, and that was good too. So anyway, all right. I think it's probably time to sign off. So that was fun. You guys are going to get cigars. Make sure you message him. If you have any troubles, message me, and I'll make sure that your information gets to him. So, yeah. So I think that is it. let's see. What else? Next week. No, next week. So I have to announce this. My next show, I'm going to be in Boise, Idaho, visiting my father, who I haven't seen in years because he moved to Boise and then COVID happened. I haven't seen him in forever. I'm going to visit him, working on trying to get into a local lounge in Boise, Idaho, and doing the show from the lounge. And I'll have like my brother on, who's a big cigar smoker and used to be in the Navy. He's a really interesting guy, like just great personality, and probably my kid too. So it'll be like a family affair. It'll be pretty fun. So okay, so that is it for tonight. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed meeting Paul Stulac. And like I said, it's like you need to try the cigars. They're like cream of the crop, I think. Any of them. So okay. So until next week, you know what I always say, be kind, keep chasing your stars.